Well, Talie, thank you for joining us today.
Of course, great to be with you.
I appreciate
Thanks
that.
for having me.
Would you introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Talie Weir, and I work with leaders. I'm a life coach, so I work with leaders one-on-one. I do group coaching and lead retreats, and really all about seeing leaders come alive to what it is that they're made for, create a life that they love living, and in doing that, just have the most impact possible. So I believe that when you are alive to what you are made for, that's where you enjoy life most, and it's where you have the most impact.
I like that. I like that. That reminds me of one of my favorite sayings is there's two moments in life, the day you were born and the day you find out why.
I love that. I've never heard it.
Really?
Yeah, where'd you hear that? Do you know who said that?
I believe it was probably Ed Milet.
I love Ed Milet.
Yep.
I just saw him live this year. It's great.
Yeah, very empowering speaker. I like him. So you are a performance and life coach. Mm-hmm. You have to engage people that want to grow,
yep,
and you have to get them out of their own way.
Yes.
So tell me about that. Talie, how do you take somebody and stretch them without breaking them?
A lot of it is getting them clear on what it is they most truly want, like what they really want. And I do it in a really holistic way. So we look at a life wheel, which mine breaks life into 8 most important areas, and they get clear on where they're currently at in those 8 areas and what it is that they really want in order to create the life that they would love to create, feel made to create. And yeah, the clarity is huge. It's when you know what it is that is in you to do, and you get connected to the why, then it all flows from there.
Yeah, that's what they say. You find your why, you get your trajectory, and you attack it relentlessly.
Yes. And you can be close to it. Like you can be going along and feel like, things are working, but often, I don't know if you've ever read the book, The Big Leap. It's by Gay Hendricks, and he talks about like one of the biggest places we get stuck is in our zone of excellence, where things are working, but it's not your zone of genius. And so taking that big leap from the zone of excellence to the zone of genius is really where it's at. And that slight trajectory shift, like when you play that out over a lifetime, you end up in a whole different place.
Oh, absolutely.
Makes a big difference.
So how do you take somebody from I think I want this to I know I want this?
A lot of it is asking questions and then just seeing what comes out in their sharing and see where they light up, see where they're like in their head and saying what they think they should say. A lot of it is just asking questions and navigating that and noticing where there are limiting beliefs in there, where there's true, authentic something that comes alive.
So you communicate their needs by asking them questions and then watching their body language in response.
And sharing back what I see or what I hear you saying, and then them going like, when you communicate back to somebody in a validating way what is most truly in them, they're just like, it's like water to your soul.
Yeah. That's good. So you light them up and then you just let them go and never help them again, right?
Yeah, just like wind them up and go. No, it's about getting clear about where you're currently at and where you want to go, and then creating that strategic path to get there. So it's like, what are the steps? What are the next steps that are going to create that for you? And what's it going to give you to create that?
So when you're validating what their need is and you're helping them navigate what the trajectory is, do you partner with them along the process?
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Yeah, and a lot of it is looking at it and evaluating the growth along the way. So with my one-on-one clients, it's weekly. With my mastermind, it's every other week. But checking in and going, okay, where are you at? What's working about what you're doing? What's not working? Where are the breakdowns? How can you tweak those things? And just getting it more and more and more in alignment. So whether it's life habits that you want to create where you want to go, or it's project-based, moving that thing forward, just checking in and having the accountability is huge.
Oh, I like that.
Those slight tweaks along the way make a big, big difference.
So on accountability, you've got quite a bit of experience in coaching and helping develop people. In the theme of Hindsight's 2020, we're starting a new decade, we're ending an old one. Are you taking time with your clients to look back at where they've been so they can see where they are now?
Absolutely. Yeah, the life wheel assessment that we start out with, we redo that assessment every quarter. So they get to see like, oh my gosh, I've grown so much. It's really fun to see the growth. Like they'll start out on their life wheel and it looks somewhere in the middle, and by the end of the year they're all out here on 8s, 9s, and 10s and getting just really, really a lot of momentum and a lot of movement in a direction. It's cool.
I like that. And I like that you do it quarterly. A lot of us, unfortunately, wait until big moments.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's very trendy to put up a picture of you a decade ago and a decade now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of easy for us to do. Scary for a lot of us, you know, because we've changed a lot.
Wow.
But in 10 years, you get to see this context that's very real and very measurable.
Absolutely.
Quarterly, unless somebody's there to give you advice and guide you and show you where you're making the wins and making the stride, it's got to be pretty hard to focus on seeing those changes.
Yeah. Often it takes some kind of life crisis or something to have some of that reflection. Like somebody that you love getting sick, or some kind of major transition in life, a job loss or something, you know, and you're like, reflect in and what really matters to me and where am I headed and how am I going to feel like at the end of my life about what I've created in life. So yeah, having that reflection all built in intentionally, just it creates a much more enjoyable, a much more just powerful life, really.
And I feel like, if I'm hearing you right, you value everybody that you engage with
So much,
as if they can be so much bigger than what they are today.
I really believe that every single person is this amazing masterpiece. And I think that anybody that you meet that you don't have that experience with them, it's because there's something covered up. You know, and we all go through painful things in life, trauma, all kinds of things that have us behind walls and masks. And I think our experience of someone that isn't just a lovely experience is you interacting with their mask. I think if we were all in a place where we were authentic and unmasked and out from behind the walls, like you just would fall in love with every single person.
I like that. So you treat everybody with the same value, as if they could be more than what they are, and the pride in what they could be as a human.
Absolutely,
I like that. So your client that is the first time coaching client, and then your client that has an enterprise of people you're coaching, do you find that you bring the same value and the same engagement with both of them?
Yeah, same process. It's just like what is in the way for where you're headed next. And sometimes on the front end, there are more just limiting beliefs that we are hurdling through, and as those start to get cleared out, there's a lot more that opens up, and pace quickens too. It's like you just move faster toward what you want when you have these beliefs about I'm not enough kinds of things, however that comes in.
I think our pride gets in the way a lot, unfortunately.
Totally. Absolutely.
Whether it be I'm too ignorant for this, or I don't have enough willpower, or maybe I didn't learn enough. You know, one of the funnest things that I get to do in my environment and work is I get to engage business owners from all walks of life. And I treat all of them as if they're going to be a multi-generation relationship for me.
Awesome.
I like to approach it that way.
I love that multi-generational.
Well, if they do right and they're starting a
cool.
business, who knows? Their kids might want to get in it. And if I'm doing right by them,
That's awesome.
you should be able to guide them.
Long-term picture, I love that.
So I actually picked up this small client who showed up one day with our meeting, and he was in a really broken down truck. It was just him and one other helper, right? He was a small client, and his agent didn't care to return his calls. wasn't big enough for him. You know, and here we are, maybe 10 years later, and he's my largest client.
That's awesome. That's a great story. I love that.
And I would have
because
never...
you treated him well at the beginning. Now you have this beautiful relationship with somebody.
And I may or may not be the reason he was able to grow. I might have provided him enough confidence to take some risks, but I'll never know. And that other agent that treated him as if he wasn't enough, we'll never know. You know, I'm glad that I'll know. So I appreciate that you do that with your clients, that you engage them with the reality that everybody has this capability to become more than what they are. I think that's a necessary communication that needs to be put into everybody's hearts.
Yeah, when you treat someone as if they are a masterpiece, it's what you draw out of that person is, I mean, it's beautiful. And when they start to see that in themselves, like you show up differently as a person, and you see that reflected in someone's eyes, that they believe in you, that they see you for who you really are. I know that's made a difference for me. Mentors and leaders who have believed in me, it's huge.
Yeah, because they'll rise to the occasion. You know, it's funny because in our line of work, we have to hire and fire people as business owners, right? And sometimes we try to control their capabilities. We try to put a model or a mold on them. But, you know, Steve Jobs says it doesn't make sense to hire people that are smarter than you and then tell them what to do. Right?
Totally true.
But we say that with only smart people. Why don't we do that with everybody?
Totally true.
People bring perspective and experience from all walks of life. Hindsight's 2020.
And their unique expertise in whatever it is that they're most made for, yes. What'd you start to say?
I said hindsight's 2020.
Oh, hindsight, yes.
You'll never know what they could have been if you don't let them.
So good. Man, you have a lot of amazing leadership quality. I can tell just by talking to you.
You're making me blush.
Leader. It's awesome.
So Talie, what is one piece of advice that you would give anybody out there that wants to increase their lifestyle or make themselves bigger for the next decade?
I would say take the time to reflect. Put yourself in some kind of process. Maybe do it by yourself, or you go on a retreat, or you get with other people that you care about, and take the time to do some reflection about where you feel like you currently are and what you really want. Like, ask yourself some like deep questions and get clear about where you want to go, and then create a structure for yourself moving forward to get there.
Structure to get there and some accountability, right?
Absolutely, yes. Accountability is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you pick an accountability person for different areas of your life, or you have a coach, or you do it as a team in your business, however you do that, getting that consistent accountability makes a huge difference, yes.
Very cool.
Totally agree with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.